this is it, the final race of the Hamilton 400 for 2008. Tander's away. He'll take a handy lead down to turn one.
And Courtney's going with him because Stephen Richards had a shocker. He dropped the clutch and the thing just sat still for a moment. Big lock up back in the pack. Trouble down here. Marcus Marshall's one of those that's made contact with another car.
It was one of the Jack Daniels cars caught on the inside, I think. Here we go down to two. Covering each other. Bit of contact right there involving Marshall again. On board with Rick Kelly. Now three. And that couldn't have been a better start for Garth Tander. Into the chicane. Watch this. Left, right, left.
Somebody carried quite a lock brake into there. There was a lot of blue smoke. There's a scramble on the run up to turn 5. Oh, D'Alberto runs high and wide on the curbing at 5. It's slippery there. Tyres are cold. Pressures are yet to come up. 33, Lee Holdsworth is off.
The brake coming in. I got my foot on the throttle as well with the brake.
That'll explain the smoke signals that I made reference to. So you heard Lee tell the story. He caught both pedals and the safety car's being deployed because of the awkward positioning for Lee Holdsworth. Let's have a look again on replay.
Yep, straight over to the our left, his right. And he whacked that concrete barrier pretty hard too. Here he goes. Safety gate goes flinging. But it all did its job. And yet again, the Hamilton Street Circuit bites first. That's a pity for D'Alberto. He started inside the top 10. Remember, this is only his first full-time year.
Now we'll try and see if we can answer the question in relation to Tony D'Alberto. Here's the reason why. And he's crossed up over the front of one of the Sprint Gas racing cars. And who was that? Was that Jason Richards? Yep. Safety car's going to jump out of the way here in a heartbeat, and away we go.
Tander fires up the toll. HRT Commodore, single file. Down the front straight. Back we go again. So 3 or 4 laps under safety car. They tried to keep the temperature in the tyres. But effectively, this is the start of race 3.
Whoops. Paul Morris climbing over the Holden sign.
Marshall and Kelly. Marshall and Kelly. And one of the Jim Beam cars came off second best too. And there is the other Jack Daniels car and the other Gary Rogers car.
And this is probably going to trigger a safety car, and Gary Rogers, at least he can smile.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, don't know whether to laugh or cry, and there's trouble here also. But
so that's who it was. It was
safety car board to the flag, safety car board to the flag, safety car scramble, safety car scramble. Safety car now,
so what happened was that Todd Kelly and Marcus Marshall were like magnets to each other. They were stuck side by side again. Push turned into shove. Watch this as they come around on the inside. Look at the inside there. Marshall in the Irwin 26 car. Spin, spin, spin. Will Davison caught in a pickle. He gets jammed.
So Richard's been given a penalty for the contact with D'Alberto.
Conditions will really start to change now. The sun will start to drop lower, more shadows across the circuit. The temperature will start to drop too.
Here's the drive-through for the Sprint Gas entry. The Jason Richards 25.4 best lap for Garth Tander. Coulthard's climbed up in front of Cam McConville, so some handy pit work there. Or did he do it on the racetrack?
He did it on the track. He got in quite cleanly, actually.
Sorry, my head's spinning around in all directions at the moment, and obviously I missed that one. 24.9 now for Garth Tander.
You've been railed in the chicane. Way! Hello, mama. Zinger replay catching just another moment for Will Davison. Like he needs that.
Simple reason is the bonnet pins are not in it. Man. So he's navigating, looking out.
Let's see how he does this one.
The field's coming up behind you, mate, right now.
It's probably the cleanest chicane entry and exit all weekend. That's just a disastrous situation for Will.
And so the reason for the Todd Kelly penalty, I believe, will be the contact on the exit of turn 2. And there's James Courtney having done his stop, and he's dropped in just in front of Rick Kelly and separated Kelly from Richards. He's got cold tyres, remember, so he's got his hands full here for the first half of this lap. Rick up the inside here. Not an easy thing to do, and he'll be careful if he locks the brake here. He runs wide at 5, but he managed to wrestle it. That was an opportunity, but now it's going to be very difficult in the second half of the track. When James would first leave the pit lane, when those pressures are down a little, back of the car feels like it's rolling around, the car's sliding a bit in the rear. Got to be a little bit more sensible in your throttle application. Not lean on the car as aggressively with the steering wheel.
Keep it nice and smooth. One more for it to go.
With the steering wheel turn rate, you've just got to coax the car into the corner a little, and then from about halfway through that lap, it'll be beginning to feel pretty right. James can get on with racing with Rick.
It's amazing, guys, what you were saying earlier, Neil, about when you get on a roll and the bad luck that Jim Beam Racing has had this weekend. I've wandered into the Holden Racing Team garage where Garth Tander is just cruising along beautifully at the moment, and the contrast couldn't be more different. They are so relaxed down here. They've just taken in their stride at the moment. In fact, they almost need to get the banana lounges out. They are that relaxed at the Holden Racing Team.
That's what I was thinking. The body language says it all, doesn't it?
That gave us an indication when we just held that shot for you down there on the southern end of the circuit, what the top 16 looked like. Took you back to Michael Caruso, gave you an idea of the gaps rather than just the time lead margins between everybody. Yes, that's seemingly cruising along, but I mean working quite hard to achieve it in the workshop and at the racetrack and then in the cockpit. The remarkable thing about Garth's run at the moment, and it doesn't always, of course, end up this way in this caper, but super smooth. Look at his hands when you just get a little glimpse of the red gloves. He turns in one gentle, sweeping move. All very deliberate, not hurry. Doesn't look fussed in the cockpit at all. But believe me, if you're in there, that thing's within a millimetre of its life everywhere. He's driving hard, squeezing every last little bit of tyre performance out of the car, but it's beautifully balanced, it's not sliding. We're not seeing any corrections, we're not seeing any lock brakes, we're not hearing any missed gears. Look at that turn in. He barely needs to change the arc that he turns. Maybe a fractional adjustment in the mid-corner, that's it.
And his body language out of the car, Cromley, suggests that as well. He's just very confident, very calm about the whole weekend.
Watch for the shift lights on the wheel. He takes the visual cue, grabs the next gear, flat shifts, and starts to think about the braking reference point for turn 1, flapping like a rag in the breeze down there across the top of the curves. Actually using quite a bit of curve on the inside of turn 5 just to get the car nestled in there. He's flicked the lights on to try and distract him, and has a look. I don't know that he's going to stop it. He has. Nice move, but marginal. Oh, they're going to argue the point. Where does this end up?
Good racing. That was fun to watch. Van Gisbergen squeezing everything out of the SP Tool store.